I'm a bad motherfucker.
According to this Intercept article, and apparently they're allowed to tell the truth about this because they're the guy who owns the Intercept, Pierre Omiemi,
is Iranian.
Is Iranian?
Oh, look at him back in the Houthis.
Typical
Iran.
The Houthis may have checkmated Biden in the Red Sea standoff. The hardened Yemeni rebel force can't be deterred without risky and costly U.S. escalations.
Oh,
so
I hope our crack team of asylum-seeking immigrants can take them out when we have to put boots on the ground.
Over the past 3 months, the Houthis have attacked merchant ships passing through the Red Sea, an unexpected military intervention aimed at forcing Israel to end the U.S.-backed offensive in Gaza and allow aid into the besieged territory. So that guy from the UK, that Keir Starmer guy,
He's a piece of shit.
Is a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's well known.
Okay.
Well known.
The Houthis' squeeze on the critical trade route is already impacting global economies. Spooked shipping companies have diverted vessels toward more costly routes. Open a new tab with risk insurance with insurance premiums and global shipping prices rising. The effects of the attempted blockade could soon be seen in the cost of oil and consumer goods worldwide. Kurt,
Houthiflation? We just got
we
still have Putinflation.
Since last week, the United States launched 5 airstrikes on the Houthis. The Houthis doubled down. They don't give a shit. They're like,
we already blew up all this shit.
That's right. They don't care. They fired at passing ships with several more rounds of missiles and drones. The targets included U.S. commercial vessels and a U.S. Navy warship, signs that the rebels were only emboldened by the U.S. volley. I like
and they come off to the region like fucking Braveheart. That's yes. How much. So it is dangerous because just them doing that, I mean, that's a bigger black eye than.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So this is like Vietnam. There's no way the United States is going to stop these Houthis. Because they've been trying to for years now.
It's like Afghanistan is what it looks like to me.
It looks like Afghan, very much like the Taliban and Afghan. It's a better. During a White House press briefing on Thursday, President Joe Biden acknowledged that the airstrikes were not stopping the Houthis, but said the U.S. would keep targeting the group anyway.
We saw that, right?
What else are we going to do?
Is it going to work? No. Are we going to keep doing it? Yes. That's what Grandpa Joe said.
Why not send the IDF at them? I hear they're really good.
Send their crack team of mine layers there.
With its decision to attack, the Biden administration appears to have opened itself up to a geopolitical checkmate by the Houthis. Escalating the strikes against the rebels will likely bring more shipping disruptions, potentially counterproductive to mitigating economic. So there are going to be,
way more effective than Osama bin Laden, by the way.
Yeah, and they're risking a full-blown war. Negotiating or submitting to the demands of a non-state militia group from one of the poorest countries in the world would be seen by many as a U.S. surrender and would boost the Houthis' newfound popularity. Oh, boy.
Okay, we got to pick. Which one do we keep going, this or Ukraine?
This, right? They're going to do both. Battle-hardened in a brutal civil war with a Saudi-backed Yemeni government in exile, the Houthis... So you're right, Kurt, that their government isn't even... So the Houthis are running things in Yemen.
Yeah, 2/3 of the population. So if you look at the map, it's southern Yemen, but it looks like western Yemen, but it's southern. And the bigger amount of land, very few people live there. Almost everybody lives in the Houthi section.
Okay.
So and then we have some puppet there that you never even hear about. He doesn't even get the Juan Guaido bump of being the rightful ruler of Yemen.
The Houthis absolutely want this conflict, said Iona Craig, a journalist and political specialist focused on Yemen. It is part of their ideology, whose anti-American element was formed during the period of the U.S. invasion of Iraq. So this is called blowback. They now very much see themselves as the defenders of the Palestinians and the people of Gaza. The Biden administration seems to be hoping that degrading Houthi capabilities will coerce them to stop, but that doesn't appear to be working. Everyone is deterrable, and the Houthis are not lunatics. But the problem when dealing with non-state actors is that it requires more force to get them to change their strategic calculus.
You can't cancel them.
They can't.
You can't do your cancel sanctions. Wah wah.
He added that the Saudis also thought that they could beat the Houthis militarily without having to address any of the political demands that they were making.
And Trump, if that guy's there that was like, why don't you say about Trump? Trump's the guy that vetoed stopping those what the Saudis were doing to them. They put a bill out and Trump vetoed it.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah, he could have put an end to that. So he he's buddied up with Saudi Arabia. He really let that go on.
Yeah.
That's his big bloody
Well,
thing
we got to keep the petrodollar, Kurt.
Yeah.
That's why we're helping Saudi Arabia do this to the Yemen.
Our money's worthless unless we do this.
That's right. Our money's worthless without the petrodollar. The Houthis, officially known as Ansar
Allah. I don't know why they made it one word.
Ansar Allah emerged decades ago as a movement opposed to the perceived corruption of the Yemeni government.
No, they were corrupt. They were real corrupt.
Okay. For the past several years, the group has been at war with the Saudi-led coalition in Yemen and are currently in peace negotiations to end the conflict. The U.S. played a key role. So the United States and Saudi Arabia tried to demolish these people in Yemen, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And now the United States thinks they're going to do it now. They're not going to do it now either.
Well, no, we know we won't, but we're just going to keep doing it, is what the president
because they don't
said.
know what else to do. The U.S. played a key role in the civil war, heavily arming and for a time giving direct assistance to an air campaign by Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates that inflicted huge civilian casualties in Yemen. The onslaught failed to defeat the Houthis. The Houthis have a big force, but they rely on distributing their power broadly across the territory that they control. They rely more on being mobile than on heavy infrastructure. They have survived a long air campaign by two of the stronger militaries in the region, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, and have adapted how to move and operate their forces accordingly. Not only are the Houthis distinguishing themselves as champions of the Palestinian cause, they are also rehabilitating their reputation at home. So this is all a win-win for the Houthis.
Wow.
Anger towards the U.S. seems likely to grow in the region as the Biden administration appears to be. So this is all the stuff they said Trump would do.
Yeah.
Going to make enemies, make more terrorists, turn our friends against us, all this stuff. And this is exactly what the Biden and the neocons are doing.
You got to remember this. All those countries that are like, they also don't like Palestinians, the other Arab, that Israelis are like, yeah, why don't they help? Because they also they don't care about them.
Right.
But their citizens, that they stoke them up about it to stay in power and do that delicate dance on a razor for America. This is, like I said, there's going to be like some Robin Hood Braveheart shit to their citizens. And then what are these other countries going to do if they're teetering on the same brink of collapse that Netanyahu was on just before October 7th?
Well, Kurt, the U.S. should consider that these actions in Gaza are enraging people throughout the region. The local perception is that when Palestinian blood was being shed over the last 3 months, no one was bothered. But when the economic interests of the West were threatened, they immediately acted. This message fits right into Houthi rhetoric and is resonating very strongly in the region.
Houthi rhetoric, I have a hard time believing that the people were like, no, maybe America's all right until just now.
The Biden administration and the United States policymakers have not yet grasped how anti-Americanism is in the region. How high? How would you not grasp that? It's at a level that we have not seen since the war in Iraq. Even if they claim that this is an Israeli operation and we have nothing to do with it, the Arab public doesn't buy it.
Oh, is this news? Afghanistan, they're wearing red turbans that say, make Afghanistan great again.
With the U.S. military now stuck in an exchange of attacks with the Houthis, experts say the Biden administration has no good options. I don't think that the U.S. is trying to engage in regime change in Yemen. Of course they are. But if this continues to snowball, that may end up being something that the administration may try. That's what they've been trying to do.
They can try. And how's it been going so far?
They've been trying to do that for years, and it's not going well.
Have we won any of the... So
no.
Imagine like...
Afghanistan,
yeah, just like in football, if the game... Like the game went on for 20 years, and then you're like, hey, who won? And they just don't talk about it. Imagine a team like that. That's us.
If you stuck through that story, congratulations.
It's very hot in here.
Oh, Kurt is hot.
You guys are not hot in here?
Go turn on the AC for Kurt. Over to Steph.
Okay. Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit